Heyo, Platman here. So, like I said, making a second video. This is my update, kind of, and story time, kind of. So it's been 6 months. My son is now over a year old. His name is Robin. He's adorable. I love him. He's amazing. I want to do more father, how to be a good dad videos. Not that I'm like an expert. But I just have to say it's so amazing having a little human being that you're just like, you are the most important thing and you want to do the world for. Even though I don't like Ben Shapiro, I keep thinking about this quote that he said when he was talking about children. And the simplicity of it is, the wonderful thing about children is the best parts of your life. If you, before children would be a 10, and then after children it's 100. And then the worst parts of your life before children would be a 1. And then after children, it's like a minus 100. So when your kid is not happy and they're screaming and they're crying and whatever, it kills you inside. Reversely, when your kid is happy and laughing and smiling and giving you kisses and whatever, it's the best thing. So I highly suggest everyone have kids. Big fan. It's a funny thing. I've been a huge advocate of people having kids. And my wife, she, loves our kid. And there was this interesting thing where we've had this kind of ongoing discussion of like, oh, but with multiple kids, it's like so much harder. And I said this thing where it's like, no, it isn't. Like, I mean, we only have one, so. But like technically when you have the second one, it's easier than having 2 single children. And when you have a third one, it's easier than having 3 single children. And so on and so forth. And it's a weird math, non-math thing. The oversimplification of it is kind of like when you as an individual are living your life and then you get with someone else who's helping you with your life. You now have 2 people that are kind of helping in a way with your life and 2 people helping with the other person's life. You are both contributing your oomph. 1 and 1 does not equal 2. It equals an infinite amount of power. Sometimes it's bad, sometimes it's good power. But in general, it's something to aspire to. So that being said, we may or may not be having or working for another child. We'll see. But anyways, so highly suggest having babies, having kids. I think it's awesome. I know the world is F right now. I live in Los Angeles. It is terribly difficult to find a house. It's terribly difficult to find a job that can afford a house. It's lots of difficult, interesting, complicated, frustrating, annoying things. My wife she's shifting over from what she's been doing to something that's better and more in focus with what she's want to do. I'm trying to like get my head around what I'm supposed to be doing and perhaps starting a business, doing more of this stuff, being less of a do-do-do, less of a lazy, and just try and focus on more important things. But basically, we have been successfully working and making money and paying off our bills. We had an interesting thing with the tax guy that was annoying because he messed up our taxes 2 years in a row, and we thought we got money back, and the government gave us money, which is super weird. And then because he had messed up, we actually owed not only the money they gave us plus interest. So that's fun to find out. Life. Anyhow, I also strongly think, and I know this is not provable, it's one of those weird things, but it's twofold. Like, the problems that you have in your life are the level of difficulty that you can have, which is a weird thing to say because you're like, well, but it's super hard. And it's like, yeah, but that's the difficulty setting you're at. Like, you're not getting, the average person is not given this, like, the same level that a billionaire or a millionaire has because they're not a millionaire or a billionaire. So, and I'm not trying to say they have it easy or they don't have it easy, because they do have it easier, whatever. But for the most part, those people, they worked really hard to get to that point. There are exceptions, obviously. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. But yeah, simply put, like, I don't have an excuse for why I haven't made videos. It's not that I haven't watched movies and TV shows. I have. Maybe not as much as I used to, but yeah, I'm getting back on the wagon. I'm sorry it's been a long break. I love you all, and I like making these videos. Sorry, I wasn't planning on making videos, otherwise I would have brought a stand and whatever. And I'm kind of like, oh, this is awkward. I don't have a stand. I'm holding it. Sorry. So it's super unprofessional, but whatever. Happy to be back. The other thing I want to get into is that I've been in the weeds on a lot of stuff. And part of it is very frustrating because I know that it's not really helping with my goals and purposes and what I want to do. Like, I've had interesting arguments with a friend of mine or an ex-friend of mine, however you want to phrase it, on Facebook. And it's so fascinating to me how people generally tend to, like, when they attack, they say things, and then it's weird because they tend to say things that they themselves are. They're like hoisted by your own petard. I know that's not necessarily appropriate saying in this context, but like in a weird way it is. And you could almost look at like, oh, hey, all the people who were saying like, oh, Trump, Russia. And then when you kind of delve into it, it's like, wait, hold on. The Democrats are saying Trump is connected to Russia, but then they're super connected to Ukraine. And then we find out Trump isn't connected to Russia at all. And I'm not trying to be pro-Trump, especially not right now, because whatever. But it is funny just as an anecdotal thing when you have, if we go back and dial out of politics, there's this child saying where it's like, if you point the finger at someone, keep in mind you have 3 fingers pointed back at you. You have 1, 2, and 3. I did say 4 fingers, but I'm like, that doesn't really make sense. You don't have 4 fingers, you have 3. So anyways, you got 3 fingers pointed back at you. And to me, there is something to be said for that. And it's so interesting because even in the saying of that, realize that you're also doing it. Like when you call out someone else, in a weird way, it's like, but you're also doing it too. So this is a funny thing of like, But I want to say this other thing that's been bugging me. So I love my kid, love my wife. We're doing awesome in comparison to where we were. Things are going up. Not everything's not like doing epic, but it's progress. And sometimes it's just like little steps at a time. But there's this frustrating thing that I run into sometimes, especially with the older generation, like the boomer generation, or in the younger generation too, where they get this kind of concept of like, oh, well, there's nothing we could do. It's all over. Like, what's the point in trying, whatever. Or they're like, you know what? It's all effed anyways. I'm just going to live my life. And it's kind of this YOLO mentality. And you get, it's 2 sides of the same coin where it's so bad, there's nothing that can be done. Or it's so bad, whatever. I'm not even going to try. Or whatever. And I probably mentioned this before, but there is that great image where there's like one dude whipping 100 people, and then they all like go down on one knee, and then he whips again, and then there's one guy standing up, and then he whips again, and then everyone's standing up to like resist him. And the point of that is like, there's many of us and one of these evil people who are trying to run control. And ultimately, and I've said this before, it is imperative that everyone take responsibility for their own knowledge and wisdom and education and be informed. I mean, you shouldn't know who all the Kardashians are. You shouldn't know the name of everyone on your favorite football team's roster. Like, you just shouldn't know. Why do you need to know that? What does knowing all of their names affect you in any positive or negative way whatsoever? It doesn't. But what you should know is the Federal Reserve. You should know presidents. You should know about the founding father, what the American government was initially supposed to be. How has it been different than what it is? You should, like, basically people need to start taking responsibility for their lives. Because knowing these things, knowing history, knowing about different forms of government, knowing about capitalism, socialism, and which one's better and why, and communism, and which one's better and why, is like, to the extent that you know that, you're going to be less effect of not knowing it. And obviously there's so much to know, so I'm not trying to say you have to know everything, but I think to start with, if people start putting an importance on knowing things and being more informed, not only as to what's happening today, but what's happening in the past, what happened in the past, so we don't repeat it, because there are great books like 1984 and Animal Farm that were allegories and examples of, hey, don't let this happen. And unfortunately, it is happening. Like right now, we are having an Animal Farm type situation. We are having a 1984 type situation. And it's so frustrating because you have people continuously like pushing for it. And ultimately, oversimplify, you just like the people you trust in your life, right? You trust them for reasons. They've given you reasons to trust them, okay? If the people in government haven't given you those reasons, then why would you trust them? Why would you vote for them? Yeah, sorry, this became a whole other thing. So going back to the baby and the family, we're doing great. I'm working on stuff. Wife is kicking butt. Like, she's just doing amazing. I'm the one that's being a lazy butt and slowly getting there. Anyhow, so yeah, doing more videos. Sorry, this is a bit of a weird ramble rant, fatherhood rant, what's going on rant, ramble. But yeah, things are good. We're gonna do better. Always doing better. Love you all. Plaid man out. Sorry, I also didn't bring any plaid. Maybe I'll find something plaid tomorrow. I know it's so lame. I just had someone call me out. They're like, yeah, plaid man, you don't even wear plaid. And I'm like, well, but, and I was like, I should probably buy some more plaid. Anyways, so that being said, it's not, the plaid man is not necessarily the clothes. It's the type of person I am. A person who is a plain man, a man of the people. I have done lots of physical stuff. My favorite jobs that I've ever done have been physical stuff. Plaid used to be kind of the moniker, the clothing type of the normal worker, which I consider myself to be a part of. So that's why. It's not literally that, but in a weird way, I feel like it should be the battle flag of like the average guy, because that's that and like those neon, safety vest type colors. Anyhow, plaid man out. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.